Hello, my YouTube family. How are you guys doing? I hope everyone is fine. Today, I'll be bringing to you guys the very answer to the question everyone has been asking me. Come here, come here. Shh. I am here to tell you guys that the answer is here. Do you want to live in Spain? Do you want to work here? Do you want to be legal here in Spain? If the answer is yes, are you willing to move to Spain? Are you seeking the answers? Okay, yes. If the answer is yes, you want to come to Spain, you want to live in Spain, and you don't know what to do, you don't know where to start. Well, I have the answer. I have the answer. Come over, sit down. Let's talk about it. Well, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please press the notification buttons, share, comment down below. Tell me what you think. So, let's talk about Spanish residency. I will not be talking about passport. I will not be talking about nationality. Today is about Spanish residency. Let's talk about it. I have them all written here. All the questions everyone has been asking me. How can I live here legally? What do I do? As you guys know, I've been living here for almost 2 decades. You're welcome. Well, so I have the answers to some of the questions, or if not, almost all the questions you guys have been asking me. And number one, Spanish immigration reform 2024. Spain, they have reformed their immigration law this year. Yes, they did. You know what? For those of you who are experts on construction, you are welcome. Come over. If you have certificate or you are a construction worker with experience and you are looking for where to go, where you can, well, jump over and residence will be granted to you immediately, Spain is one of them. Right now, Spain is looking for construction workers. So they reformed their law that people with construction expertise, you can come over and residence will be granted to you. Who again? The health workers, the nurses, the doctors, all the health workers, you are welcome. Spain right now, they are lacking on that sector. So if you are a health worker, you are looking for a place to go, you want urgent residence when you get there without being illegal. Spain is also telling you are welcome because they have reformed their law. Unlike before, it's not that easy to get their residence based on that. So now I will be explaining to you guys a lot of type of residence that Spain have, how you can get them, how long it will take you. I'll be explaining all that to you. Yes, you're telling me thank you. Yes. Say that again. So there's this thing they call, like I told you guys, I have them all written down. There's this thing they call Spanish national family member. You know, it's called family arraigo residence authorization. What does that mean? If you have a family, a blood relative, well, even if it's not a blood relative, but it's a member of your family, be it your brother, be it your sister, be it your mother, your father, who is residing in Spain legally. If the person is legally in Spain, you can apply residency through that person based on the person has to be working. Okay? Right now, Spain is granting people residence through that means. If you have a family, you can be granted residence, be it your brother, be it your sister, father, mother. But again, what happened? You have to, if you are above 21 to 65, you have to explain your financial dependency, which means you have to explain that you are capable of taking care of yourself. And that residence will be given to you 5 years. Residence will be given to you. When that expires, a larga duración, which Spanish people they call it larga duración, 10 years permanent resident will be given to you. Okay, now type of resident permit they have in Spain. Golden Visa Spain. What does that mean? That visa is for those, when that resident permit is for those people that they choose to invest in Spain. If you choose to invest, maybe you are buying a property, immediately they will grant you Spanish resident. But bear it in mind, well, a lot of procedures, because you have to explain where the finance is coming from. So it's up to you. That also resident will be granted to you. Also, they have working permit. What is working permit? A working permit resident is the resident they grant to you normally is 1 year. First 1 year, second 3 years, and later 5 years. But first 1 year will be granted to you. And when that is done, you have to find a job within that 1 year, minimum 6 months of working. If you get a job, 6 months of working, resident will be granted to you. And when they grant you that resident permit, you have to work for minimum of 6 months. If you don't, when you are about to renew it, it will be taken away from you. That is called working permit, which means you are permitted to work. If you don't work, they are taking it away from you. So now, they have marriage resident also. Well, as we all know, what is marriage resident? You will marry someone here who is a Spanish citizen. A resident will be granted to you first 1 year, and then later, I think 10 years will be granted to you. That is marriage. Now, there is this one that's, well, a lot of you guys might be interested in that, and that is called pareja de hecho. Spanish people, they call it pareja de hecho. Pareja de hecho, what does that mean? It means when your resident is being granted to you through your partner. What do you mean by partner? Your partner is your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or however it may be. As long as you have proof that the said person is your partner, you will be living under the same roof, or you have a proof of what they call here in Spain, empadronamiento. What does it mean? A registry. You have to register yourself in the same house with the person for minimum of 6 months. So if you have a proof that you have been living with your boyfriend or your girlfriend who also is legal here, you will be granted a resident permit. How many years? First, 5 years. So if you have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, you have a partner that you are living with, if you register with the person, minimum of 6 months, and you are staying in Spain, you have the legal right to apply for Spanish residence. Okay? And 5 years will be granted to you. Whether you are working or you are not working, that you don't need to work. You don't need to prove any fund. You don't need to prove financial dependency, financial capability. You don't have nothing to prove. All you need to prove is you have been living with this person for a minimum 6 months. Well, from 6 months to 1 year, recommended. So if you have this proof, you will be granted 5 years. And when that 5 years is done, you can renew your residence and you'll be granted 10 years, which is called permanent. So this kind of residence is called pareja de hecho. But mind you, your partner also needs to be working. Spanish citizen, legally here. If it's not legal here, you don't have any legal right to apply for that resident. Okay, now let's talk about arraigo. Arraigo, as we all know, Spanish people, they call it arraigo. Arraigo, there are a lot of types of arraigo. There is this they call it arraigo familiar. What is arraigo familiar? Arraigo familiar is this it's a new law. I think they just applied that law 2022. So that law stipulates arraigo familiar. If you have a family here also who is living in Spain, you can apply a resident through that person. And also, for example, let me explain more clearer. There is this new law here that states, for example, I'm a Spanish citizen, and my partner is illegal or doesn't have any documents. And if I have a child with my partner, what will happen? That my partner will apply for residence through my child if the child is granted nationality. Normally, Spanish children that are born here, first of all, you have to apply for residence if you don't have passport. If the parents doesn't have passport, doesn't have nationality, let me use it that way, doesn't have it's not a Spanish citizen, you are only having residence. That means if a child is born here, the child, you have to apply for first 1 year. They will grant the child 1 year residency. After 1 year, when the 1 year expires, then they will grant the child nationality. I hope you guys understand me very well. Well, let me explain. If you are legally here, you have residence, but you are not a Spanish citizen. If you have a child here, when the child is born, they first give the child first 1 year residence, and when the residence is expired, then you can apply within that 1 year. After 1 year, the child have the right to apply for nationality, Spanish nationality. So what happens when the child is granted nationality? Now, your partner who is illegal here or who doesn't have document will now apply for Spanish resident through that baby. So it's called arraigo familiar. And also, if you have a maybe you have a family member who is also a Spanish citizen, you can apply, be it your brother, be it your sister, be it your cousin, you can apply through that family member and you will be granted Spanish resident. It's called arraigo familiar. Now, there's this new law, it just came out last year. I think last 2 years, 2022. It's called arraigo laboral. It hasn't been existent for a long time, but the Spanish government right now, the president, President Sanchez, I give it to him because he's really doing very well. President Sanchez, Pedro Sanchez, right now, there's this new law that he applied. If you are legal, if you can prove your legality here in Spain for 2 years, well, not legal, if you can prove your stay here in Spain for 2 years, Spanish resident will be granted to you. What does that mean? You register first. There's a place they call Ayuntamiento. You have to register yourself in Ayuntamiento. If you register yourself in Ayuntamiento, you start counting from the day you registered yourself. You must be registered, not you are just living, you are just staying in Spain, your name is not registered anywhere. No, you have to register in Ayuntamiento. If you register in Ayuntamiento, you start counting from that day till 2 years. With proof of 2 years, you are likely or eligible to apply for a residence in Spain. But what comes with it? Well, you have to look for a job. A company have to grant you, well, they call it like assurance, like assuring the government that when the government give you residence, the company will employ you. So you have to find like a pre-job, like a pre-contract. A company have to offer you a contract, a pre-contract, that if a resident is granted to you, they will employ you, and that will be minimum of what? Of 6 months. So, and that you have to work from, because I wrote it here, so I will not forget. And it has to be what? 2 years. Like I said, you cannot be less than 2 years or more than 2 years. It's called arraigo laboral. It hasn't been in existence for a long time. They just applied the law, or they just changed the law, which is favorable to a lot of immigrants here. If you can prove you have been here for 2 years with your empadronamiento, you can apply with your police report, with a company granting you, and resident will be granted to you. So for now, guys, this is all I have. This is all I have in Spanish immigration reform or Spanish immigration. These are all the information I have. For those of you who question me a lot, I hope you understand everything, or any other thing, you can comment down below. You can ask me questions. If I can answer that. Maybe I might be able to answer some of them. Comment down below. Tell me what you think about Spain immigration law. Tell me your opinion is needed, okay, guys? So that will be all for now. Next time we will speak about nationality, Spanish nationality, meaning Spanish citizenship. Stay tuned. Press the notification buttons, guys. I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.